Hi guys, I am Susan from Orange Light Energy. This is kind of a last minute video. Apologies, haven't really brushed my hair or anything like that, but I just made myself some tea and I had a lot on my mind. And it had a feeling that maybe it's not just me that's dealing with these things. So I wanted to talk it out here. Let some information come through, talk it through, understand it for myself to see what support can be offered, what can come through. I had talked in the October Energies video about some of the things we may go through, and there was references to the heart chakra, references to the root chakra being big this month. So far, for me at least, that has been very true. The root chakra is about feeling safe, feeling secure, finding, your moments of peace, finding balance. Your heart, it's your emotional wounds. It's the triggers. It's who you are. And when these two flare up together, it can raise a lot of things for you. Things that maybe you thought you were done with them. Maybe it's something that you hoped you were done with. You thought you had dealt with it and now it's rising in a different way. It's coming back. Things that have been in the background in your life and you haven't addressed it, you haven't fully looked at it, and now it's pushing itself forward in a way that is disruptive, overwhelming, pushing you to take action. And these struggles, they can be yours or they can be somebody in your life that you desperately want to help. I mean, that's my situation. I'm already emotional. I feel like this morning I've cried maybe 3 or 4 times already, and not even about this, about other things, a video you watch online or something like that, and it's emotional enough to hit you in a place where you are vulnerable. But it can be really hard. It's always hard, to move through your wounds and to move through things. But when there are other people involved, it can become harder because their free will is in there, their choices, their beliefs. And the people who are struggling in your life, they may not be on the same path that you're on. That's how it is for me, the person that I am trying to help. They don't give a lot of time to this stuff. They don't give it a lot of credit. Not really interested in it. And I know we say somebody's awake or not, whether they're conscious or not conscious. I don't know that those things, I guess they apply to this lifetime as opposed to their soul in general. Because somebody can be a really experienced soul, a really powerful soul, but maybe they didn't come here for that path of learning in this time. The person I'm struggling with, they're here to support me, to help me, but they didn't want to be involved in all of this stuff. There's a lot that's going on here right now. If you're in our Patreon group, you know some of what I'm talking about. But there's all of these things that are going on in the background, things that we're aware of, things that we know that other people just do not see. And not everybody came for that. Not everybody wanted to be a part of that in this time. They came for a different path of learning, a different experience. And they can be really challenging. You can know their soul. You can want to fix their soul. You can want to help them in all of these ways. The same way you want to help yourself, and sometimes it just seems like nothing changes anything. But just don't judge them, because you've probably been on that path before too. You've come and had lifetimes where you wanted the very 3D path. You wanted to experience that part. And just because that's not what you're doing in this lifetime, it just, there's no point in judging it in other people. They will come to things when they are ready. And I think that's a part of what I've been realizing this morning, is that whether it's yourself or somebody else, you can do the work, you can bring them all the love in the world, all the healing, all of these things, but you don't see the progress until you or they are ready, until it's time. It's a part of that divine timing that, you know, they may hear the same thing over and over from multiple different people, but they're not ready to hear it yet. And then when they move past the lesson, when they get through whatever they needed to get through, suddenly there's a breakthrough. And it's the same for yourself. You know, you could do multiple different healing sessions. You could go and get Reiki every week. You could go and you can meditate every day and just feel like nothing is happening. And then all of a sudden, bam, because you passed that point, you got to where you needed to. You pushed yourself past something. And it had to be time. You couldn't force something to come to fruition before it was time. Which I guess plays into the lesson of control. You know, we want to be able to fix everything. We want to be able to make everything okay, to make everything perfect. And really, that's not the human experience. We come down here for light and dark. We come down here for free will. We come here to learn and to grow. And if everything just worked out every time, how would that happen? Seems kind of a dark theme, but man. I didn't mean this to be dreary. I think partly it's, you know, where am I struggling with? But I guess that in part is what I'm talking about, because I have somebody in my life who is really struggling. But then looking at that situation, what has it brought? The things that they're struggling have given me an opportunity to express to them, to show them something that I have struggled with for a long time, but never really been able to talk about. And now, because, you know what, I did the throat chakra session and it's made me be a lot more open about things. Because you know, instead of just, oh, I'm sorry, it has been a deeper conversation. Less fearful of the confrontation and more willing to not step into conflict, but to not just let things slide by, to put some boundaries in place, to advocate for myself, my own role in this, because it's somebody that's very close to me, somebody whose choices, actions, emotions impact me on a daily basis. And in part as an empath, that is hard. You know, when it's people that are close to you, whoever it is, you know, it can be a husband, a mother, a father, a child, somebody that you work next to every day. If they're going through struggle and they're in your personal space, you're going to feel that. It's going to impact you. It's going to drain your energy. And when you talk to them and you feel like you're just banging your head on a wall and they're not hearing you, when you're desperate to help them and every day you're bringing them that energy, you're trying to just bring yourself to them from a place of love, a place of understanding, a place where you can help them, and it just continually feels like they don't hear you. Sometimes you just have to be patient, because I guess as much as I seem like I'm in a stuck place right now, today was kind of a breakthrough for me. That person decided that maybe they need help. And, you know, I've suggested it. I've suggested it multiple times. And I guess it's stayed in there. It's been going around, whether they've expressed it or not. But now they've talked to other people about it. They've got more information. And today came back and was like, I'm thinking maybe I'll get some help. And now it's going to make me cry. But I guess that's part of it, you know. It's like that on any part of your path. We all want to fix things right away, to get where we need to be, to do what we think is the right outcome right away. And it doesn't always come that way. Sometimes there's other elements, there's things outside of us that we need to be patient about. And just because we don't see the progress, just because we don't see the energies moving in the background, it doesn't mean they're not moving. It doesn't mean that things are not changing, things are not resolving. And I'm talking about this as our journeys, as the journeys of those around us, but think about this on a collective level too. The things that are coming up in our world, the things that we're witnessing, we're seeing in our communities, we're seeing on the news. If we're impacted by the energies of the people around us, how are we impacted by the vibrations of the people going through these things right now? What are we picking up for that? How is it impacting the vibration of the earth, the vibration that we are living in? And how does that ripple through our own energy and our own lives? But also, where does this come in of things being in motion? The fact that what we see and what is actually happening are not the same. You know, we may feel despair at something we see on the news, but what we're seeing on the news is only part of the story. The news is not talking about necessarily the positive things that could come from something, how it could play out. And what we see might play out differently, something that looks terrible might then lead to something incredible. You know, this comes up in healings too. You could have got here in no other way. Something has to break for it to be restored. But when you're going through the broken part, when you can't see the way past it, it's hard. And I feel it in my heart chakra. It feels like a brick in there right now. But we will get through it. And I guess really my message is about that, is about patience, working through things, continuing to just bring love to people, to bring compassion to people. Even if you feel like you're seeing no progress, you're not seeing the change you want to see, it doesn't mean it's not coming. It just, you cannot see it yet. Man, there's so much going on right now. It can feel really overwhelming. It can feel really heavy. To just please be gentle with yourself. Don't give up on things. Don't give in to the despair. Send your energies out there. You know, I've talked about this before, about, just picturing yourself making balls of light and sending it into situations. Sending love, sending healing, setting your intention to send these energies. I make it as balls because I don't know, it's the way I've always done it, but you can see it as rays of light out of your hands. You could see it, you're calling down light from somewhere. I send it with the intention of the highest good and well-being, but I will send this light into areas and situations within the world, but I'll send it into situations in my own life. If I cannot control the choices of somebody else, but I can send light into that situation with the intention of their highest good and well-being, the highest possible outcome. It requires a little bit of surrender, just recognizing you cannot control the outcome. You have to be able to let it go. You have to be able to let people make their own choices, come to things in their own time. The balls of light, you can put it in your own energy if you're the one who's struggling. I do that too, placing my hands and just calling in light, asking for healing from my guides, always just with the intention of my highest good. If you're struggling, just make the ball of light and choose to push it into your heart chakra. Push it into any area, really, and you put it in your energy. Visualize yourself surrounded by light and ask it to support you. Call and help, ask for help, ask your guides for help. And don't give up, because things are going to work out. Things are going to be all right. I can feel my energy changing already. It just recognizing that change will come. And just because you cannot see what's going on in the background, you cannot see all of the steps, all of the things, it doesn't mean nothing's happening. It doesn't mean nothing's changing. It doesn't mean that what the news tells you is true. It doesn't mean that the angry word somebody says is what is in their heart. These energies make everybody feel vulnerable. There's a lot of us feeling trauma, a lot of us feeling our wounds. Whether it be collective wounds, personal wounds, ancestral wounds, generational wounds. A lot of this is stirring up right now, and a lot of it is coming back. And just, you know, if you're on this path, it's helpful because you can be more conscious of that. You can look at it and you can look for the purpose. You can know you can call in help. You have some resources, some ways of helping yourself. But people that are not on this path, it's hard for them. They don't have the same understanding, the same hope, the same, I want to say reference points for things that can help us to process things, that can help us to recognize a wound, to recognize a process, to recognize when we're clearing something. And that can require a little more compassion. You know, I've been doing what I can within my own home with this stuff. I've burned a lot of sage. I put some really big crystals in my bedroom. I got this painting down too that I wanted to show. This painting, this is an incredible artist who is, Jennifer and I, my business partner Jennifer, we are lucky enough to call her a friend, to have her as a part of our journey. And this is one of the paintings she's done. I'm taking it out of the frame right now because the frame always, the glass always reflects too much when I show it. But this painting, I didn't look it up online to see what she said about it, but my understanding is it's connected to the heart chakra. I have this up in my house right now. Jennifer always talks about Catrin's paintings as being portals, something that call in energies. And this one to me is so full of love, of compassion. So I'm holding it up here. I'll put the link to her sites. If you want to know more about this painting, you can find it. But I wanted to share its energies here. Hold it closer. Look at the details on here. It's so beautiful. She's got the roses. The roses have been coming up a lot. Anybody listening to Jennifer talk on her channel, Metatron is speaking, she connects the roses, tie back to the cosmic dragons, to the rose energies. But here you've got the sacred geometry on here. You've got, you know, green and pink, the colors of the heart chakra. I found these energies to be really helpful. So I just wanted to share those here too. Let me think, what else? You may find the energy videos that I've been doing each week, energy clearing and energy balancing, I think we've been calling them now. They can be really helpful. They're only less than like a minute and a half, but I use them on my own energy if I'm feeling a bit overwhelmed. They can be really helpful. The singing bowl ones as well can be helpful. There's channeled meditations, and there's a playlist of channeled meditations that I have. Particularly I'm feeling the heart healing meditation might be really helpful, just to help us to clear some of these things, to release it. The channeled meditations, they never show up how I think that they will, but they, you know, it's a lot of talking of any time when we're speaking. I tend to think it's an activation. When you're speaking channeled words, there's energies that come through those that will trigger things in your soul, trigger things in your energy, trigger you to release things, to let go of things, words that go into your energy a little differently. And so I'm going to put the link to that below too. There's also, I think it's the first meditation I ever did, so it's probably a little bit rough and doesn't have music, but maybe I'll re-record that one. It was about calling in light to the world, calling in light to your own energy, but also to the earth. Just a different way to support things. So I'm going to put the links to that. If you feel that you are struggling a lot with situations and emotional wounds or relationships in your life, a big session I would talk about right now is healing with Metatron. I did a short video about that a while back, but it's, to me, the most personal session. It's inviting Metatron into your energy to help you to release trauma, to give some information from your Akashic records that will show you that trauma, that will show you why you may hold certain wounds, why some things may be such triggers for you. And they'll release the trauma. They'll give you some guidance on moving around it, how it may show up in your life. That to me feels really resonant right now. But there's also a session that I do. I've never recorded a video about this. Maybe I should. The relationship trauma removal. That it doesn't work for every relationship, and I will always check and see, because some things it's about a lesson in this lifetime. But if there's somebody in your life who you have past life connections with, things back there that could be cleared in this time to ease your path, ease the relationship, to clear blocks for both of you, that can be a really powerful path. And it's sometimes just really fascinating how you have connections with people in your life. Often there can be contracts back there. There can be issues around karmic debt, cords that have been in place just for too long that need to be cleared, shared trauma events, any number of things. Past lifetimes can be fascinating. I get caught up in that sometimes. I get so caught up in what happened in the past, I forget to look at what is going on now, because it's easier to look at the past. But they all, in each of the sessions, they will always, we clear something from the past, but explain to you how it would manifest in this time, how it may impact you, and give you tools to move past it. All right, I'm going to put some links below this video, but just be kind with yourself. Be gentle to yourself. If you're not going through these things right now and you still watch the whole video, thank you. Anybody who's here watching this, just give yourself a little bit of love. Just be patient with the people around you, with the world around you. We're going to get through this, and on the other side of it, we're going to see the value. But the breakthroughs will come, the changes will come. We just have to be patient. All right. Love to you all. Thank you for being here. Bye.